At the close of the Battle of the Bluegrass season, Elizabethtown, Kentucky will be a showdown in Superstock two-wheel drive trucks between the Wilsons and the Hardens, between Ford and Chevy, as well as Pro Farm tractors.
What is pulling? It's the only motorsport measured in inches. Pulling involves tractors and trucks hitched to a special sled with a moving weight box. The goal is to haul the sled as far as possible before the shifting weight pulls it to a stop. The longest pull wins.
Welcome to another Houslou Battle of the Bluegrass series, coming to you from the Hardin County Fairgrounds in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. It's the PBM Finals presented by World Products. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ted Jones, joined in the booth by our expert analyst, Tom McConnell. But first, here is Brett Kepner.
The two-wheel drive category is relatively restricted, but it's one of the most popular categories in Battle of the Bluegrass pulling. Kevin Wilson goes into a battle tonight tied for the World Championship point lead with one hook left. Is this truck any more tired than it was at the beginning of the year?
No, it ain't, because I just left the machine shop last Thursday. Matter of fact, we put a new cam from them in it, new lifters and stuff.
When he said camshaft, I'll bet he was talking Sig Urson camshaft.
Yep, Sig Urson Cams in Louisville, Kentucky is part of the PBM Performance Group. We supply 5,000 or 6,000 engine builders across the United States with complete engine kits or parts or whatever they need. With the acquisition of Urson camshafts and the World Products cast iron division, we're working every day to put out new parts.
You got to have a good machine shop and a good parts supplier to build a motor. It ain't only just anybody can put a motor together.
Indeed. It takes a lot of people for a World Championship winning team. But keep one thing in mind. This is going down to a Ford versus Chevrolet finale.
It is indeed, but not quite yet. Let's start things out with Ray Heath. First off, he calls it right on the money.
Well, Ray Heath actually driving a Pro Stock. You'll have several Pro Stocks in this category. How do you know them? Well, they run small motors, only limited to 485 cubic inches. None of the weights are outside. They've got to run a stock wheelbase. 258 and change will set the mark to beat.
I got a funny feeling that won't hold for very long. Backing up to hook to the sled is James Harden with his high-voltage GMC truck.
That's right. Well, James Harden, this is his first pulling truck. It was over in the weeds 2 years ago. My daughter said, "Oh, Daddy, can they bring that truck back to life?" They did. Lays down a good run. He'll take over the lead with his Pro Stock truck.
I told you 258 feet wouldn't get it done. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, one of the battle people. This is Nancy Wilson out of Versailles, Kentucky.
Nancy Wilson, your defending Houslou champ last year, made the switch to this beautiful retro steel-bodied Ford. The women are cheering, the Ford fans are cheering. Nancy goes into the lead.
No surprise there, 300 plus feet. Michael White from Lafayette, Tennessee, Miss Lick.
That's right, the Miss Lick, one of the baddest Pro Stockers around. Check out the RPMs on this bad Chevrolet, Ted.
He's got it up high right there. Oh, almost 300 feet. Not quite. The Chevy lets down at 291.03 feet. Patrick Beckett will be up next from Berry, Kentucky.
And you can see the difference on these Super Stockers. Notice the weight bracket out front, a longer wheelbase. They can go up to 600 cubic inch. This is an old timer. Hasn't had this truck on the track in a few years. It's time to work the bugs out, getting it ready for next year. He's on a roll, but Beckett's going to come up short.
Boy, a lot of smoke right there. Brett Kepner's on top end. Let's see what went wrong.
Was that just a little bit of blow-by out of the left bank there at the end?
So I didn't get to look at my oil pressure, but it ain't turning over too good, so it might be a little tight.
Here comes the moonshiner. Ladies and gentlemen, a very colorful guy. This is Travis Coomer.
Oh my gosh, the stories we could tell about Travis Coomer, and none of which can we talk about on NBC Sports, except that he is one of the top two-wheel drive Pro Stockers in the country, trying to run with the Super Stockers, the Black Gold machine. Well, maybe not enough black gold in it's going to come up short.
Let's take one more look at it with our Houslou replay. High in the air right there for that truck.
What in the heck hit?
I don't really know. I broke it loose out there, and I don't know, may got a little bit too far to the left.
James Harden will be our next puller. He calls it cheating situation. I don't know about a truck named Cheatin'.
Well, it's actually named pretty accurately, says some of the competitors, but hey, they've never been caught. James on a good run, trying to actually beat himself in his Pro Stocker. The Pro Stock truck beats the big motor tonight. 290 won't get it done.
No, indeed. Mike Chesser's up next. Good look at him right there with 3 Shades of Black out of Mount Eden, Kentucky.
Mike Chesser picked up his first House Loop victory earlier this year up in Falmouth, Kentucky. What can he do to close out the year here in Elizabethtown? 3 Shades of Black. Look at him grab it onto the bed. No window there, 287, not gonna get it done.
They call him the one-armed driver, and that's a good reason why. Here's the leaderboard. Nancy Wilson still on top. James Harden in second place. Be back with more after this. This coverage of the PBM Finals is being brought to you by House Lubricator, professional grade performance since 1920. And by PBM, the professional engine builder's one-stop performance source. And by Urson Cams, 50 years of performance camshaft and valve train technology.
Well, on the line right now, this is so important. Jim Harden, the winningest super stock two-wheel drive of all time, is in a tight points battle. How tight? He is tied for the lead with the Ford of Kevin Wilson. It's Chevy versus Ford. And what's gonna happen? Can the Chevy do it?
Now remember, Kevin Wilson is the husband of Nancy Wilson, the current leader at 300 feet. Jim Harden comes up about 3 feet short. Look at it one more time with our House Lube replay.
It doesn't look like he's going to take over the lead, but as long as he beats Kevin Wilson, he's happy.
Track coming apart.
A little slick.
That could work in your favor.
Well, maybe, yeah.
He doesn't pull until the end.
That's right, yeah.
When he says he means Kevin Wilson doesn't pull to the end. Meanwhile, we got some other pullers like Keith Bailey, for instance.
Oh, I love this next to kin truck. Listen to the RPMs that motor makes with it, Ted. Everything underneath the hood. Can the little motor do it? Lays down a good run, gonna come up short, but very respectable.
Nancy Wilson's 300 feet still holding right there. Brandon Walston right now. Gravel Switch, Kentucky. I never heard of Gravel Switch.
That's where my mama's family's from, Ted. I'm not making it up. And this guy, he was the winner here last year. Gonna try to make it 2 years in a row with the 51 special. Not gonna happen.
1951 Chevrolet pickup truck. They pull everything, folks, in the Battle of the Bluegrass. Here comes the shimmy himmy Brian Stevens. Wow, what is this, Mopar?
Oh my gosh, Ted. Well, it's true. It's a truck. It's an old truck van combination that the Dodge company had out years ago. Got a Dodge motor. He sits right next to the motor. Gonna come up short, but a fun ride nonetheless.
Oh, that is really a cool ride. I like that one of my favorites. Cold Steel will be up next, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Stevens.
Rumor has it next year this truck's gonna be a little bit longer, a bigger motor. He's building a true 600 cubic inch super stock two-wheel drive. More details later next year. How's his Pro Stock gonna do? 288? Good run, but gonna come up short.
Just Plain Nasty is the name of the truck, driven by Ronnie Smiva out of Mount Eden, Kentucky.
Ronnie, one of the original guys that started in this super stock two-wheel drive truck category. A true legend going down the track. How's it going to end up for Ronnie? A good run, but still no cigar. 280 won't get it done as we get down to the last two in the class. Ted, this guy is tough. Steve Cobb hasn't picked up a win, though, in 2 years. The last time, Richmond, Kentucky. He would love to plant this Ford in the winner's circle tonight.
It's a Ford, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you, a good-looking Ford. I like the flames on the front right there. 307 feet. Wow, he takes the lead.
Let's check it out on the Howes Lube Instant Replay. Awesome display of 600 cubic inches of Ford.
It has to be something you did different. What do you think it was? Weight distribution?
We moved some weight and changed some tire pressures.
It worked, buddy. Unbelievable. This late? Wow.
Thank you.
Well, here's the last puller. This is the one Jim Harden is tuned into. This is Nancy Wilson's husband, Kevin Wilson. He could ruin the day for Harden.
It's Chevy versus Ford. Ford's got a chance at it right now. Kevin Wilson, straight and true. Teddy's got the momentum. He has done it. Ford, Kevin Wilson, your champs this year on the Howes Lube Series.
Boy, are they excited. Are they ever happy? Look at that big celebration going on there as he's won the championship. One more look at it with the Howes Lube replay. Let's go to Brett.
I got to ask you quickly.
Yeah.
After 3 straight wins,
Yeah.
and then to have him
Yeah.
join you with it for the 4th year, that's got to be big.
It's awesome. But better him than anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Nancy Wilson, Kevin's wife. We look one more time at that sensational award-winning pull. Indeed we did. Congratulations to Kevin Wilson with an unbelievable 321-foot pull. Here's the way they finished for the season. Kevin Wilson the champion, Jim Harden a close second.
We're here at the Battle of the Bluegrass Howes Lubricator Finals. About ready to go into the Pro Farm category. The winningest driver of all time is the guy driving the Red Rattler, Keith Race. And Howes Lube, a big part of this series, and come to find out, they've got some stuff that really work, particularly in the wintertime.
I use that gel in my salt trucks to keep it from gelling up. I was having problems with it freezing up going down the road. I start using that, no more problem.
Well, Tom, we use state-of-the-art copolymers for the anti-gel that work with a broad range of fuels across the country. We use no solvents or alcohols. It's all petroleum-based, so it's very, very safe to use in any fuel system. And it also has a Tier 4 injector cleaner package that works with all of the emission systems. And we also have the original and best tow guarantee for the over-the-road truckers. If a driver's using our product and he gels up, we will reimburse his tow expense. Now, there's a purchase required, obviously. He has to prove that he's been using the product. But if he has any issues as far as gelling goes, we've got him covered.
All right, thank you very much, Tom McConnell. Now we move on with the 8,500-pound Pro Farm tractor class. Our first puller will be Troy Mason out of Scottsburg, Indiana. He calls his tractor Drive Me Crazy.
Well, Troy's been campaigning this tractor now for a couple of years, still trying to work all the bugs out, but Drive Me Crazy looking pretty good tonight, Ted.
Indeed, he is at 288 feet. I don't think that'll be quite enough. Now, remember, a full pull's normally around 300 feet, and Justin Massey, the old red out of Crittenden, Kentucky, thinks maybe his Farmall will do better than that.
Well, got the word from the official. It's going to be a floating finish line, pulling it as far as they absolutely can. This guy, currently #1 in Howes Lube points, a former Howes Lube champion, no surprise. Old Red takes over the lead with Justin Massey at the wheel.
314 feet. There will be no pull-off with the floating finish line. So we'll see what Justin LaFollette can do with the Red Rush.
Oh, shooting that red flame out. He's your 2014 Howes Lube champion, Red Rush, trying to beat Massey. He's got to go past 314. He will not get it done, Ted.
You can tell these tractors are diesels when you look at that big plume of black smoke coming out of that huge diesel exhaust right there. Let's go to Brett.
Starting line seemed to be a little hard down there, and this tractor likes to get up and get running, so I tried to be a little easier on it on the starting line to get her hooked in, and just wasn't enough, I guess.
Things are turning green. It's John Deere time. The only way I know, he says, a John Deere loyal owner there, Zach Linville, out of Versailles, Indiana.
Only 2 John Deeres in this class of red. Let's see what the first Big Green Hope could do for the John Deere fans. They hoped, but they did not receive 306, will not get it done. Justin Massey, the Big Red International, stays on the point, and the guy hooking up right now, Ted, the winningest Pro Farm driver of all time, the legendary Keith Race, the Red Rattler, trying to beat his trailer mate, Justin Massey. This is the guy we were talking to earlier that loves that diesel treat in the winter. 310 won't get it done. Wow, Massey just charged up, big bullet there.
Boy, they all are going over 300 feet now. Congratulations out to Keith Race. Nice job as we look at him with the House Lube Instant Replay. Brett Kepner is on top end.
You don't want to hit my brakes because that's 5 or 10 foot when you hit your brakes.
Do you think that little swerve was 2 feet?
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 feet.
Because he's asking, he's shy about 4 feet. So was the little swerve 2 or 3 feet? It could add up. It could make a difference. John Horsley is up next from Hudson, Kentucky.
You know, Ted, you tap that brake just a little bit, and that's the difference between first place and 5th place sometimes. I mean, it is so important. Good run for Horsley, but man, the track's getting them. 303 will not get it done.
They continue to go over 300 feet. Once again, let's go down to Brett Kepner.
Good hook and track. We had good luck. Straight run. Didn't have to fight the brakes. We're tickled.
Good way to finish the season. Good job.
Thank y'all.
We'll take a break. Here's the way they stand right now, 1 through 6, with Justin Massey on top at 314 feet. More 8,500 pounders next. This coverage of the PBM Finals presented by World Products is being brought to you by Howes Lubricator, professional grade performance since 1920. And by PBM, the professional engine builder's one-stop performance source. And by TruckAddons.com, the source for all your truck accessory needs. Here's Tom McConnell.
We've got Andy Stinson here, the Bubba Burger chef extraordinaire, and a question on everybody's mind. How do you cook the perfect Bubba, Andy?
You just take your time. You put it on the grill, let the juices rise, gently turn it over 1 time, take it off the grill.
You said 1 time?
1 time preferably. You sometimes may do a quick 2, but 1 time is really good. So you want to keep it juicy. You want it to take its time. Cook on medium. If you got a gas grill, cook on medium. If you're in charcoal, keep it away from the flames.
And Andy, what do I see over there? Is that bratwurst?
That's one of our Bubba grillers. The bratwurst is really awesome.
Well, let's go back to the action. And Andy, if you have got it in your heart to grill a Bubba bratwurst, I'd sure appreciate it, man.
McConnell, always looking for something to eat. I'm telling you, Tyler McGowan right now out of Nancy, Kentucky. He calls it a drop of red.
Well, he and his father are both competitors. His father, though, actually pulls a John Deere. We'll see him at the end of the class. The son driving the International. Here comes the drop of red, laying down a good run, trying to beat 314. Won't get it done, Ted.
Incredible. They're still going over 300 feet, but nobody can get to that 314. Here's Brett.
Haven't got to pull a lot this year and just kind of took a blind stab at it. I guess a blind dog wins every now and then.
Second generation Bubby Race out of Dry Ridge, Kentucky with his perfect storm had a little bit of a problem with that International as he got off the line and then immediately broke. So we'll move on to our next puller, Gary Spiegel from Piner, Kentucky.
The Ragin' Red, a former Howes Lube champion in this Pro Farm category. Love watching this tractor pull because if he gets it hooked in, and he's hooked in good now, Ted, he could really shake things up. Laying down a straight run. Is he going to have the power to get by Massey? No. Massey stays in the lead.
They continue to go over 300 feet. Notice how far out front those weights are on the front of that tractor. Let's go to Brett on top end.
There's 4 other tractors between you and the leader at 314.
Any night, any night. I mean, it's just a tough group.
Byron Ambergy out of Mount Sterling, Kentucky. He calls it bad for business.
Picked up a big win last year in Owensboro, Kentucky. Always a top-end competitor. Ambergy's got a lot of ground speed going with this International, Ted. Throwing the dirt. Yes, he takes over the lead. 320 gets it done.
Unbelievable. I thought he was going to go all the way to Louisville, Kentucky, folks. Kind of a plain tractor, not painted up real fancy. He put all of his money into the engine, obviously.
You know what they say, a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
Well, at this late in this poll, you may not have to wait very long before you win the last one of the year.
There's some good iron steel back there.
Did you notice the oil on his face, Ted? That tractor was belching some now.
Jason Reffett is up next from Mount Sterling, Kentucky. The red asset. Oh, look at the wheels high in the air, Tom.
Oh, yeah, the track has taken a lot of horsepower tonight. A great track. Larry Phillips and the gang did a great job on making the dirt awesome out here tonight. Our last puller, some are saying we've saved the best for last. Check out the helmet on this guy. This is Royce McGowan, a former dirt car racer, now tractor puller, 2011 Howes Lube champ. And right now, Ted, the John Deere fans are going nuts. He does it. Green goes into the lead and takes the win.
And Byron Ambergy, well, not a happy guy.
This tractor won the first took out this year and won the last took out. But it cost a lot of money to make it all happen.
So here's the way they finished up. McGowan, the last puller, did it with that John Deere, 323 feet. Byron Ambergy, second place at 320. Here's how they finished for the year. Congratulations to Justin Massey, our champion with Old Red. Now, special awards. The Truck Add-ons Best Appearing Award goes to Nancy Wilson, her She's Country entry. The Bubba Burger Best Engineer had to be Brian Stevens, that shimmy himmy Mopar. And our Liquid Tube Hot Run of the Day, of course, Kevin Wilson, the doggone, with his championship pull. I'm Ted Jones for Tom McConnell and Brett Kepner. So long, everyone.